afford to live.
Ever open your phone and see a person talking about inflation? It's hard going on social media without seeing someone complaining about it. But what actually is inflation? Well, have you ever noticed that everything's just a tiny bit more expensive than it was 10 or 5 years ago? Or that you can no longer just give your child a $20 bill, instead you have to give them a 50 or even 100 for them to actually do anything with friends? Yeah. Inflation is an increase of overall prices in a certain amount of time. In simple terms, it's money losing its value. Now, inflation is caused by many different things, such as when there's more demand than supply, so the prices become higher, or when the cost of production is high, so they must raise the prices to cover those costs, or even when there's just too much money in the economy can cause inflation, such as the overprinting of money in 2020. Obviously, prices have to change with the economy. They don't stand still, but when they happen too quickly or too largely, that's when it becomes a problem for the average consumer. That means you. Inflation is a complicated issue to fix. It's essentially part of this economic loop. You have inflation, which causes workers to demand higher wages because their old wages can't sustain them anymore. So the company gives them higher wages, but then they have to raise their prices to cover those higher wages. Meaning those same workers will need even bigger wages to pay for stuff. See what I mean? It's an endless loop. Luckily, there are things that can be done to lower inflation, like monetary policy adjustments, fiscal policy change, reducing production costs, which tends to lead to unethical practices, or even promoting competition between businesses. But inflation is something we all still, sadly, have to deal with. The difference is, how are you going to deal with it?